Welcome, everybody, to the Freedom Fries podcast, episode 0. Man, I'm so excited to be here. I'm here with my main man, Spiros, and we're kicking things off. We are so excited to have this finally in the works. We've been working hard in the background to get this off and get production going, and here we are. So we just wanted to spend a few minutes here and introduce ourselves, tell everybody what our intentions are, what this podcast is about, who we are, why you should listen to us. We'll keep it nice and short for episode 0, and hopefully in the future we have some really good guests coming on, and we really dive into some really cool real estate topics and life topics, military topics, all the above. So without further ado, we're going to introduce ourselves a little bit. I'll pass it off to Spiros here. He'll pass it back, and let's get this thing rolling. Spiros, tell the people who you are.
Thanks, Mike. Super excited to be chatting with y'all tonight. My name's Spiros. I live in Satellite Beach, Florida. Navy veteran, spent just shy of 10 years.
Go Army.
Navy. Yeah. That's going to be a common theme on this podcast, by the way.
For sure.
There's going to be, we don't have the joke yet, but we got to come up with a punchline. Like, what do you get when you have an Army guy and a Navy guy in a podcast? I don't know the answer yet, but we'll get there. But yeah, was naval aviation, flew in jets for during that time. Huge privilege, a lot of fun, and then decided it was time to get out after about 10 years and be at home with Mama Bear and the kids, and raise a family. So did that, and just really happy to be here and looking forward to getting to know you more, Mike, during the podcast and getting to know our guests and really digging into some real talk about what it's like, outside of the military for veterans, and also talk about, opportunities for us to really pursue financial freedom through real estate.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Spiros. And yeah, just to introduce myself a little bit, my name is Mike Marchman, born and raised in Rockland County, New York, little suburb right outside of New York City. I did 6 years active duty. I was an Army judge advocate captain. For about 4 years of that, I was a trial counsel. And a couple of years after that, I got the privilege to teach and as a professor at West Point, the military academy. While my time in the military obviously was busy, but I found a love and passion for real estate and was really fortunate just to be in the right place at the right time and really hit the ground running and just learning and listening to different podcasts like this and listening to different people who have been successful. And that's really my goal and my vision and how I see how this thing is going to be beneficial, to try to reach out to as many people as we can, especially the military community, and let them know this is possible, right? Financial freedom is possible. Look at all the people who have walked the same walk as you, can talk the same talk as you, and they've done it, right? We figured out a way. So I'm sure you'll get to learn a little bit about me more throughout the episodes and kind of what I've done and my deals as we sit down and roundtable with different folks who we have on the show. And Spiro, same sentiments for me. I look forward to getting to know you a little bit better and just really, diving into this thing. We don't have a script or anything like that. So this is, I'm super excited.
So I'll put you on the spot and ask you a personal question. So
let's do it.
How did you arrive at the decision to transition out of active duty service?
So that's a fantastic question, Spiros, and it's so relevant to me right now because technically I'm still active duty and I'm on terminal leave, right? So it's a super recent question, and I had the decision to make, especially in the JAG Corps, where you, as a lawyer, right, you hit 6 years or so and you've done only military law, and you kind of become, if you go any further, you shelter yourself a little bit to the civilian world, and your options are a little bit limited at, obviously it's possible, but so I had a tough decision to make, and I was at the 6-year mark, and, with my second kid on the way and, moving around a little bit here and there, we wanted to really set down some roots. And luckily I landed a fantastic job that made the decision a little bit easier, and, it wasn't hard. Right. And I know I probably share this with you, Spiros, and a lot of our listeners that will be, chiming in and having this in the car or in the gym. is the military was all I knew. I didn't know I didn't know the civilian life. I was really nervous and apprehensive. I didn't, I was second guessing my decision to get out and, going through the whole interview process. So yeah, it wasn't an easy one, but I will tell you one thing. Real estate, right? Not to sound corny or not or something, but real estate had it played a huge factor in my decision process for two reasons. One, I knew I had that safety net of some side hustle coming in just in case if things didn't go well. And two, I knew I was going to a market that was a little bit better than the one I was in. So I said to
Sure.
myself, yeah, man, I can really take off here and really, scale up and being in an area that the cost of living is a little bit less. So yeah, it all comes back full circle. Awesome question.
Great. Great.
I'll ask
Yeah.
you a question, Spiros. How about this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why should somebody listen to the Freedom Fries podcast, in your opinion?
So, Freedom Fries podcast. So, the Fries part stands for Focused Real Estate Investing for Epic Success. So, why should you listen to us? Well, you know, we are just regular folks, right? We served in the military, like many of you that are listening, and maybe there's some of you that are listening that didn't serve in the military, and that's fine too, right? This is going to be real talk. This is not going to be scripted um, lessons on how to get rich quick. It's not going to be, giving you all kinds of visionary dreams of becoming a real
Mm-hmm.
estate mogul or anything like that. It's real people that are taking some of their spare time and some of their spare money, and instead of spending it and just you know losing it in the marketplace,
Right.
we're deciding to take it and try to buy assets with it that
Mm-hmm.
someday are going to pay us that you know passive income, right? So if you found us because you looked up podcasts for real estate investing, it probably means one thing: we've all read the same book that
Mm-hmm.
had us go in that direction, right? So Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki,
Yep.
I guarantee you we've all read it, right?
Absolutely.
So very simple book, very simple concepts. It's not like rocket science, right? So
And it's
this
not
pod
even like a real estate specific book. It's just life.
That's right. That's right. So this podcast is really going to focus on bringing guests on that may or may not have a military background, probably will,
Mm-hmm.
but bringing guests on and asking them to tell their story, asking them to kind of explain to us, like, tell us about real estate, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean we're only looking for stories where people are like, I bought this house, I flipped it, I made $100,000. I mean, that's great. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. But we also know that there's stories that are like, dude, I got into this investment and I didn't know what I was doing. And I had to tread water for years. And then I finally found a way out, right? We want to hear those stories too, because guess what? There's lessons to be learned for all of us just listening to real people, listening to the trials and tribulations and the big successes that they've had. So that's what this is about. It's going to be real people sitting down, having a conversation about their experience, some focus around the real estate topic, right? Which I think kind of brings us all together and binds us. But it's really about people and their stories and their experiences. And I think experiential learning in that way, I think we can
Mm-hmm.
all gain a lot more than just doing hey, here's, 6 steps you can take to
Yeah.
become rich quick, because we all know those don't work. They
Right.
just end up, having dollars go down the drain. Right. So I think
Man, brother.
that's why
Yeah.
you should
And
listen.
I couldn't have said it any better.
Plus
And
we're damn funny.
man, we're two good looking men. So if you just want someone to stare out or some really good voices to listen to, that's us. So if you want to
Right.
kill 20 minutes of your day driving in traffic, you can listen to us. Spiros, man, I could have not said it any better. I want to piggyback on two things real quick that you said.
Yeah.
One, if you are tuning in and you want the magic diet pill of getting rich real fast and not working hard, not doing anything, just turn us off, unsubscribe, don't follow. That will not be us at all, right?
Yeah.
Just full disclosure, that's not us. If you want real conversation, real talk, no scripts, people telling raw emotion, real stories, not only successful stories, right? Like you said, Spiros, well, we need to talk and discuss about the failures, because everybody knows you learn from failures, and it's not
Yep.
about how hard you fall, but how quickly you get back up. So talking about failures, but also success, right? Because with success is, it inspires, right? If I hear
Right.
somebody who's
Gives you
walked in that,
motivation.
100%, I'm motivated if I know, oh, that person was in the army. They did 10 years. They did 15 years. They're financially free. They bought a rental house with their VA loan every single time they PCS 2 years, and now they're a millionaire. Well, I could do that. That's
Yeah.
too easy, right? So that's what it is. We're gonna get people on here. We're gonna get people who are successful. We're gonna get people who are rookies. We're gonna get people who are in the middle. We're gonna get people from all walks, all talks, from everywhere that we can find. Talk to them and just see where the conversation goes. Obviously, we're gonna focus around have a real estate focus, but who knows? Maybe we won't talk about real estate. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll just have, something pops off and we talk about something different.
All right. So real talk. Here's a question for you.
All right, let's do it.
And we don't have to get super personal, right? But
Mm-hmm.
what's your let's go from a professional point of view. What's your biggest regret? Like when I ask you about your biggest regret, tell me the first thing that pops into your head.
My biggest regret, like career wise, or
Yeah, like
real?
professional regret, nothing too personal.
Man, I don't. I don't want to sound cheesy, but I feel pretty good about myself.
Good. Good.
Like, I
Good.
honestly feel that I've put myself in a really fantastic situation. Like, I'm 32
Yeah.
years old. I've got a pretty established career. I've, worked in my profession since I'm 25. So I don't know if I have any professional regrets. My one biggest regret, to be like full disclosure, just being honest with the people, and that this has nothing to do with the podcast. I just wished so badly that when I was in college, I found real estate and I found bigger pockets and I found
Yeah.
podcasts, because I've starting at age 27, I feel, right, and I maybe that's just the way my mind thinks. I'm like, man, I'm so behind the eight ball. I started so late. Sometimes I got to take a step back and say, hey, man, you got plenty of time. But man, the things I could have done of investing in the college towns and
Yeah.
who knows? But no, that's when somebody asks me about regrets, that's really honestly one of the first thing that pops into my mind. How about you? I'll swing that back
Yeah.
at you.
So I've got something that I just was talking to my wife over coffee in the morning. We get up every morning and try to have coffee and just chat
That's
for a little
awesome.
bit before life happens, right? And I said, man, I wish I could go back and not sell any of the houses that we bought.
Right, right.
I mean, like, I wish I would have had I don't know what the right word is. I wish I had the balls to like
No,
figure out a
seriously.
way to not
Mm-hmm.
have to sell any of those houses, because we, we had the good fortune and blessing over the years to buy, nice homes where we could raise our family at different duty stations along the way. And
Right,
we did kind of the traditional thing where, you sell one, make a
right.
little bit of money, and then you use that for the down payment on the next one.
Yep.
But, this short real estate journey, I'm about 9 months into my
Mm-hmm.
real estate journey, right? And you and I are kind of going through it together in this
Yep.
real estate accelerator course that we're doing. And with everything I know now, I think that's probably my biggest and only regret is
Right.
I wish I would have never sold a house. Wish I'd have them all right
Dude,
now. And
100% with you. Like the power of just, especially for us as military, we know we're moving every 2 years. The power of PCS, reuse the VA loan, keep the house rented out. PCS, use the VA loan,
sure.
rent it out, and just freaking snowball that. And before you know it, 10 years into the military, you have a real estate, empire behind you.
Yep.
Not even trying.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Not
you're
even trying.
all of a sudden you have, you have options and all that stuff. Super
Hundred
cool,
percent.
man.
100%. Yeah, no. So I think those are, just to give everybody a little bit of a snippet, those are definitely some kind of talks we're going to dive into, and we'll have some guests who have military experience, PCS experience, and talking about probably exactly what we should have done in the past, which we didn't. Are a lot smarter than us. So Spiros, anything for our listeners before I close this out?
No, I think we hit everything we wanted to do. We just wanted to give y'all a good understanding of the heart of this podcast, of me and Mike's heart, as we come together here. And I'll tell you what, Mike and I are not like best friends,
Right,
in our we're kind of meeting on this podcast. Like
100%.
we have a relationship because we're going through a real estate accelerator class together. But Mike called me one day and he said, "Hey," or you texted me, I think, and you
Yeah,
said, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing a podcast?" And I'm like, "That's so far out of my comfort zone. Let's do it." You
same.
know, and really, I really want to stress that we're going to get to know each other on this podcast, and we hope that you all tune in and we can all get to know each other together. And we've kind of been fortunate to get put into a pretty large network of veteran real estate investors that are going through an accelerator class or have gone through the same accelerator class in the past. So we're going to have some really good guests. We're going to have some really good people that have accomplished some really great things, have made some big epic fail mistakes,
Right.
and they're going to be willing to get on here and just tell their story, and we're all going to kind of get to know each other while we're doing it. So that's the biggest thing I want to emphasize is this is real stuff. Mike and I are regular dudes,
Yeah.
and tune in so you can be a part of the bromance.
Absolutely. Spiros couldn't have said it better myself, brother. I just want to, before we close this out, if you guys like what we're saying, if you want to listen to us, please, if you can, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm not going to throw any kind of crazy animations at anybody, but please, it will help our algorithms and move up and try to spread the word. And if you know of anybody, if you know a fellow service member who may be interested, share the link, talk to them, and let them know that we got some, just two average normal dudes talking and interviewing some real cool people, and we're trying to give back to the community. So with that, I appreciate everybody's time. I know we're super busy these days, but if you're listening in your car or at the gym, going for a walk, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you tuning in, and stay tuned for episode 1. We have a fantastic first guest. No spoilers, but I promise you, you won't want to miss it. Spiros, see you next time.
Go Navy.
We're going to have to cut that out.